But what if I told you that behind the flashy suits, million-dollar mansions, and packed stadiums, lies a dark, twisted truth? The shocking claims of witchcraft, staged miracles, and outright blasphemy are only the beginning. And trust me, the receipts are piling up. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see Prophet Lovy Elias forever. Prophet Lovy Elias, a name that has swept across social media feeds, YouTube recommendations, and even mainstream news outlets. To some, he's a man of God, a modern-day prophet delivering divine revelations straight from heaven. But to others, especially those who've been watching closely, Lovy Elias is nothing more than a dangerously charismatic performer, using spiritual manipulation, shady finances, and even alleged witchcraft to build his empire. In today's video, we're pulling back the curtain on Prophet Lovy Elias. We'll dive deep into the controversies, the shocking testimonies from insiders, and the growing body of evidence that paints a much darker picture of this so-called prophet. From accusations of blasphemous teachings to chilling ties to African witchcraft practices, we'll lay out the facts, the claims, and the receipts. And by the end, you'll see why more and more people are calling him a blasphemous false prophet. But there's more. We'll also explore how Prophet Lovy uses manipulation tactics straight from the cult playbook to keep his followers loyal, and why his lavish Hollywood lifestyle raises even more red flags. Whether you've been curious about the truth behind his rise to fame, or you've already heard the whispers of scandal, this video will break it all down. And trust me, you'll want to watch this until the very end, because the final revelations are the most disturbing of all. To understand the controversy surrounding Prophet Lovy Elias, we first need to look at where he came from, because his story didn't start in the pulpit. Long before Lovy was wearing designer suits and holding high-energy prophetic services, he was living a very different life. Born Lovy Longomba in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Lovy was destined for fame, but not in the church. Alongside his brother, Christian Longomba, Lovy found fame as a secular artist, part of the popular music duo the Longombas, who dominated the Kenyan music scene in the early 2000s. Their upbeat Afropop hits, flashy lifestyle, and celebrity status made them icons in East Africa's entertainment industry. Think of them as the African equivalent of a boy band sensation, but with a distinctly Afrobeat flavor that resonated deeply with the youth. Their concerts were legendary, filled with pulsating rhythms, synchronized dance moves, and the deafening roar of adoring fans. They were on magazine covers, interviewed on primetime television, and their music videos were constantly on heavy rotation. The Longombas were a force to be reckoned with. But fame in the music industry didn't come without its price. Behind the scenes, rumors swirled about the brothers dabbling in occult practices to maintain their success. Some whispered that witch doctors were consulted to guarantee hit songs and financial fortune. Whispers, hushed and secretive, spoke of midnight rituals, sacrifices in remote locations, and the consultation of powerful shamans. The air crackled with a sense of unease, even amidst the glitz and glamour of the music scene. While these claims were brushed off at the time as mere gossip, they take on a much darker meaning when you connect them to Lovy's so-called prophetic journey. Was his later, divine revelation, truly a calling, or a calculated step further down a pre-existing path? After relocating to the United States, Lovy's life took a sharp turn. According to his own version of events, he experienced a supernatural encounter where Jesus Christ himself appeared to him in a vision, commanding him to abandon his music career and step into the calling of a prophet. It's a dramatic story, almost too dramatic, and many critics have questioned whether this so-called divine encounter was genuinely spiritual, or simply a convenient reinvention after his music career faded. The music industry is notoriously fickle, and perhaps Lovy saw an opportunity to reinvent himself in a more lucrative and stable field. Was it faith, or foresight? And here's where things get even more suspicious. While Lovy claims he was chosen by God, former associates paint a different picture. Ex-bandmates and friends from his secular days recall Lovy's obsession with mysticism, ancestral spirits, and the power of African traditional rituals. These weren't casual interests, but deep-seated beliefs and practices that consumed much of his time and energy. Some even claim that his transition into ministry wasn't driven by faith at all, but by the realization that there was more money in religion than in music. A cynical view, perhaps, but one that is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore given the sheer scale of Lovy's financial empire. But what truly raises eyebrows is how effortlessly Lovy stepped into the role of a prophet, almost as if he had been studying the craft for years. From manipulative crowd control techniques to theatrical prophecy performances, his services are eerily reminiscent of staged spiritual shows seen in prosperity gospel megachurches across the globe. He knows how to work a crowd, how to build anticipation, and how to deliver a performance that leaves his followers breathless and wanting more. And yet, none of this stopped him from gathering a massive following, including celebrities, influencers, and even Hollywood elites. Why would high-profile figures flock to a so-called prophet with no formal theological training and a past riddled with whispers of occult involvement? The answer lies in the next chapter of Prophet Lovy's rise, a story of manipulation, deception, and spiritual theatrics so convincing that even his biggest critics admit he's a master of the con. If you've ever watched even a few minutes of Prophet Lovy's sermons, you'll notice something right away. This isn't your average church service. There's no calm teaching from Scripture, no deep theological breakdowns, and barely any room for questions or reflection. The focus is relentlessly on Lovy himself. He is the star of the show, the conduit to the divine, the man with all the answers. The atmosphere is carefully cultivated to be one of high emotion and expectation. The music is loud and pulsating, the lighting is dramatic, and the crowd is constantly urged to express their devotion through shouts, tears, and enthusiastic applause. It's a carefully orchestrated performance designed to create a sense of euphoria and make attendees more susceptible to Lovy's message. Continue with the rest of the outlined sections, expanding each one with more descriptive language, specific examples where possible, and details that add depth and intrigue to the narrative. Focus on building suspense and drawing the reader in with compelling storytelling. Remember to maintain a critical and investigative tone throughout, presenting the information as allegations and claims backed by evidence, not as definitive truths. The goal is to raise questions and encourage viewers to draw their own conclusions.